Khanna, and it's my pleasure to introduce our speakers. First one is Farzad from Cosmos Intelligence, and the first three speakers are from Cosmos Intel. And the session, of course, because you already came here, you know it is alternative molecular models of mind. So if you're in the wrong place, you may want to move somewhere else. So, all right, Farzad.
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. So the title of this talk is T Consciousness and Cosmos, from nothing to nothing. What is nothing? So there have been books written on nothing, on the definition of nothing. There are so many talks, and you can find some of them on YouTube on what nothing is. Actually, if you search more, you can even find some systems to help you to get to nothing. So the name of this one is Box of Nothing, University of Rochester. So the researchers try to get close to nothing. So what is nothing? Most of the researchers and physicists, they say if you have a box with some object inside, when you remove that object and you have a system that can provide close to complete vacuum for you, you are not still close to nothing, because then you get to virtual particles. Where those virtual particles are coming from? The fluctuation of quantum fields. So this is the point that most of the researchers say when we are talking about nothing. That's the quantum field that you have, and you cannot eliminate quantum field. But some researchers, they say if somehow there is a way to remove the quantum field and quantum field fluctuation, then you get to space-time fabric. You still have space-time fabric. You are not getting to nothing. If there's a way to eliminate space-time fabric, we still have universal laws. If somehow we can get rid of universal laws, we may get to nothing. Okay, let's first talk about those quantum field and quantum field fluctuation. So there are different types of quantum field for different subatomic particles. When we are talking about up quark, down quark, or other subatomic particles, for each we have a specific quantum field, and the fluctuation of these quantum fields are going to cause these subatomic particles to get created. And after that, of course, you get to the point that you have all of your elementary particles, and then based on that, you have matter and energy. And looks like from here, that is close to nothing, to there, that is everything. That's the process. And as a matter of fact, because of the particle and wave duality, we can consider matter and energy as the same thing. They are not two completely separate things because of that particle and wave duality. So if we consider matter and energy more or less the same thing, are these the only things in the universe? That if we get rid of them, we get to nothing. Before I answer that question, that if matter and energy are the only constituents of the universe, let me briefly talk about a couple of things. When an observer from above the sea level looks at the iceberg, he or she can see only a portion of the whole thing. And most of the iceberg is actually beneath the level of the observer's view, and he or she cannot see that. when we talk about the constituents of the universe, and when we talk about matter and energy, we are talking about under 5% of the universe. Over 95% is dark matter and dark energy. We think that they should behave like matter and energy. That's why they call them dark matter and dark energy, but we have no idea what they are. And the other thing, when we all started school, at the beginning they told us never try to calculate the square root of a negative number. You are not allowed to do that. But after some time, we figure out we can consider some imaginary number. And later on, we figure out we can do nice calculations with those imaginary numbers. And we figure out capacitors and inductors are actually working based on that imaginary number. That at some point we said you cannot even imagine that. Not only we can imagine that, but also we have some products working based on that. Going back to the question, are matter and energy the only constituents of the universe? So what is common between all types of matter and energy that we know? The common thing between all of these things that we call matter and energy is wave, frequency, and pulse. So are we going to have only these type of things in the universe that are based on wave, frequency, and pulse? Or are there some other constituents in the universe that are not based on wave, frequency, or pulse? Let me give you a couple of observations or some evidences that it shows we may have a portion of the universe which is not frequency based or wave based. Talking about quantum wave fluctuation, where that energy is coming from that is causing the fluctuation of these quantum waves. Are we going to have quantum wave all around the observable and non-observable universe? Or is it only in small scale that we are talking about? When we are talking about quantum entanglement, the spin of the subatomic particles, like up or down quark, in entanglement, they're spinning together. The information is passed immediately. It's not the speed of light, it's immediately. From one side of the universe to the other side, if we have quantum entanglement, that information is passed immediately. And matter and energy cannot do that because they are wave-based. Talking about the expansion of the universe. The expansion of the universe is happening at a speed larger than the speed of light. How come the universe can expand with a speed greater than the speed of light? Of course, when we ask the cosmologists, they say the matter and energy are not going at a speed faster than the speed of light, but it's the space-time fabric that is expanding at that speed, larger than the speed of light. So what is the space-time fabric? If it's not matter or energy, what it is? Talking about 95% of the universe, dark matter and dark energy. What are they? What are dark matter and dark energy? Maybe when we are looking at that iceberg and matter and energy, we are just looking at a small portion of the universe that is wave-based. Maybe the larger portion of the universe that we are not seeing is not wave-based, is waveless and frequencyless. With that assumption, let's see if we can get to some point that can solve some of our problems. Okay, so matter and energy, it's wave-based, frequency-based, pulse-based. We can quantize that. What if there's a portion of the universe that is waveless, frequencyless, pulseless, continuum, which cannot be quantized? Let's start from here. A part of universe wave-based, a part of universe frequencyless and waveless. How the information between these two is transferred? Is information a part of wave-based or waveless, or can we have information as another entity in the universe? If we have information as another entity in the universe, that we have information transfer between the wave-based and waveless realms in the universe, then maybe we can consider that information as the software behind the hardware. So both the wave-based and waveless-based realms, we can consider them as hardware and that information as software. So the next question is where that information or software is coming from. For a time being, let's say it's coming from consciousness. What is consciousness? If you ask 1,000 people what consciousness is, you are going to get 1,000 different answers because there are different definitions for consciousness. And I'm going to add another definition to those 1,000 definitions, and I'm going to call it T consciousness, and I'm going to tell you what T consciousness is. Okay, consciousness theories. There are so many theories on consciousness. Some of these theories, they say matter and energy is the fabric of the universe. The main fabric of the universe is matter and energy. Consciousness emerges from that. That's one part of the theories. On the other hand, there are theories that they explain consciousness is the fabric of the universe, and matter and energy are emerging from consciousness. And of course, there are some theories in between, not exactly on either side. So T consciousness is a theory on that side that explains and states that consciousness is the fabric of the universe, and matter and energy emerge from that. You all heard about non-local consciousness, so it falls in the category of explaining how non-local consciousness is working. So what is T consciousness? Based on the theory of T consciousness, based on the theory of T consciousness, consciousness should coexist with intelligence, awareness, insight, wisdom, and management. The whole bundle, all together, is called and named T consciousness. And that T comes from the theorist whose name is Taheri, to explain that this definition is based on the definition that Taheri provides, T consciousness. So there's a huge difference between consciousness from a neuroscience point of view and T consciousness from the theory of T consciousness. So consciousness is the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. It's local, it's based on neuron activity. T consciousness, on the other hand, the main constituent of the universe, it's non-local. So we are talking about non-local versus local. I had a talk at Insanitas Symposium, and I talked about T consciousness theory for about 25 minutes. So if you would like to get more information about T consciousness, you can have access to the YouTube video on YouTube.
What does the T stand for again?
T stands for the name of the theorist Taheri,
Oh.
who proposed that theory of T consciousness, or theory of T consciousness based on Taheri. Also, 2 years ago, I had another talk here in the same room actually about T consciousness cosmology. If you would like to get more information about that, you can scan that QR code and get the YouTube video. Let's go back to the main topic, because the title of this topic is T consciousness and cosmos, from nothing to nothing. The scale of universe from what is known to human, Planck length, to observable universe. That's the scale, that's the known scale to human being at this point. Because 1 year from now, you will see some changes to that scale. Okay, what's common between everything within that scale, from the Planck to the observable universe? Everything is in motion, wave-based, frequency-based. So under this, some of the researchers and scientists, they say it's nothing. Above that, cosmologists say there's nothing. So let's talk about these from T consciousness point of view and perspective. Okay, theoretically, that should not be the limit. The Planck length should not be the limit theoretically. This is based on the current knowledge of human being. We can go close to 0. And then, when we go to the left side, when we pass 0, we say there's nothing. And on the other hand, on the other side, if we pass the edge of the universe, then there's another nothing. Are these two nothings the same nothings? And between Planck and 0, is there something, or we have nothing? So let's talk about these two nothings. Nothing number 1, nothing number 2. So here we have waveless, frequencyless, pulseless. And then we call this base nothing. When we pass the edge of the universe, space, gravity, time is undefined. We call that ultimate nothing. So the space gravity time fabric consists of the frequency-based and non-frequency-based entities or realms, and the whole thing is within consciousness or T consciousness. So T consciousness is the source of information. That information is going to have the frequency-less or waveless realm, as well as the frequency-based or wave-based realm. And these two are interlinked. They are not separate. They're working together in the space-time gravity fabric. I don't have enough time, but if I want to briefly explain this, we have frequency-based realm, we have wave, and of course matter and energy are sitting here. On the other side, we have the space-time fabric, including dark matter and dark energy, on the waveless, and in between the information is transferred as a software, and that software should be stored somewhere and should be processed somewhere. we call those memory and mind of matter and energy. And there are ways to make some changes to that mind of matter through changing the index of information. So here is the whole system together. We have consciousness, we have information, we have wave-based hardware, waveless hardware, we have mind and memory of matter and energy, that things and information are processed and stored over there. So what is believed to be nothing, and we define as base nothing and ultimate nothing, they are actually everything, because those two contain the information, and information is everything. So anything in this universe stands between these two nothings, from base nothing to ultimate nothing. And so we have two distinct definitions of nothing, base and ultimate. These two nothings are in unity, and nothing and everything have the same information, and everything and nothing can make sense. And I'm going to end my talk by showing you the Euler's identity. Irrational numbers. There's no ending to irrational number. We have imaginary number, and we have integer number. They all together give nothing in math. And unless you see the proof, no one can believe this one. Science, philosophy, and spirituality, they are seeing the truth, but from different perspectives. You need to see the big picture if you are looking for the complete truth. As quantum field theory changed the world by shifting the paradigm, T-consciousness field also is going to be the next paradigm shifting in physics. And I don't have time to explain this one, T-consciousness fields, and how T-consciousness fields and index of information can change under T-consciousness fields. My colleagues are going to talk about that. All the information and all the research that we have done on the impact of T-consciousness fields on matter and energy, you can have access to all of these publications through that QR code. And my friends are going to talk about the impacts of T-consciousness field on non-living things and living things. And again, all of this information was based on the theory of T-consciousness developed by Mohammad Ali Taheri. So let's rethink and evaluate our theories and our views of the cosmos. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your ideas were very clear. I have a question. So
Of course.
is the difference between T-consciousness and what we call consciousness only that T-consciousness is non-local, or everything else, all the other properties are contained?
So T-consciousness is non-local. It has different levels. At some level, it can be local when it gets to the human consciousness. So when it gets to human consciousness, it becomes local. But other than that, it's non-local.
It has
So
all the other characteristics that you described, awareness.
So all of them are all together. So all of them are non-local. So because the whole bundle is defined as T-consciousness. So all of them are non-local. Correct.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
The next speaker is going to be Notion, and she's also with Cosmo Intel.